data. It is in the form of a spreadsheet. Let's have a look at few of the functions and formulas used in Excel. And before we do that, we can also quickly take a small tour to understand how to work with Excel. Now to do that, what we can do is we can type in our search, say for example Excel, and just select your Excel app which is installed. And here you see you have a lot of options which says take a tour, drop down list, get started with formulas, make your pivot table, going forward with pie charts, and much more. So we can click on this one which says take a tour, and that basically pops up a window which says welcome to Excel. And if you have always wanted to be better at Excel, you have this which can help you. So let's click on create, and that takes us to the store window. Now that says instructions for screen readers, which basically talks about 10 different steps in which we can learn Excel and using the spreadsheet app. So there are more than 11 sheets which we see here at the bottom end, and each one gives us a simple example which we can work on. So for example, if I click on add, now that takes me to this page which says how do we add numbers. Now you might be provided data which we can upload by loading a file from our machine, or getting data from a web source, or even connecting to a database. So there are various options which we will see in some time. So here we have an option which is called data. You can click on this one, and this basically has options where you can use existing connections. If you have created some, you can always click on from other sources, and you can get your data from SQL Server, from analysis services, from OData data feed. You can get in from XML, from data connection wizard, or also from Microsoft Query. You can be running in different queries here, which shows up in the option which says new query. There are connections which you can use, and that basically will display all the connections for this particular workbook, which we do not have as of now, but we can create them. But let's look at simple examples. Now you can follow these instructions here, which says basically adding up the numbers, and that could be easily done by just placing your cursor here. And what you could do is either you can type in the formula, that is from which row to which row you would want to add the data. So for example, I could just do a sum here, and that shows up all the different functions which are available. Then we can open up a parenthesis, and we can say I would be interested in totaling the amount from column D, and I would select, for example, D4. So I could be doing this, and then I could say D4 onwards till D7. So that's the data which I'm interested in. You can close your parenthesis and hit enter, and that gives you the total. There is also a shortcut for this, which you can always do, is we can first delete this, and you can just place your cursor here and just use your alt and equals. That automatically selects the numericals, which we can anytime expand or basically collapse. So I will basically select this, which says this function needs two numbers, which is number 1 and number 2, and then you can hit on enter, and that gives you the total. So similarly, we can be getting in the data here by selecting all the fields. So here it also says that you can use a shortcut. Now what we can also do is we can add numbers over 50 by selecting the yellow cell here, and then giving a condition such as, so I can basically use something like sum if, and then open a parenthesis. I can select I would be interested in this row, and then I can even drag and drop till here. So that tells me D11 to D15. You can then put in a comma here,